You ready to go again soon?
Hey, what would you say if you had to conclude your fulfillment and your financials and how they related to our conclusion?
I would say low margin and high profit.
Sure.
Low cost and high margin.
High margin, yeah.
So you can do this right. Hey, Mark.
He looks like a Superman.
Mark, look at the slide right now and tell me that you can. This is your last slide. Can you do this?
Yeah.
Easy. Does this all make sense? Does this?
Large procurement and production quantities. Or large procurement quantities. Yeah.
High production.
Yep.
Minimize stockouts and low costs and high margins.
Yep, let's do it. Let's do it! Ashley needs to get her stoke on. She needs to get more excited.
She's really bringing me down right now.
I give this to you, Clark.
Galarkin. Oh, she sent a mass email out.
To everybody?
Yeah.
Oops.
That's embarrassing.
Come
Why
on.
don't you just tell her where to find us?
Well, I didn't know. I didn't even know anything about it.
Alright. 3, 2,
Hold
1.
up.
Action!
Is that an I?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, it doesn't look like an I. I was like, did I misspell my own name?
No. Okay, Wellmaker Zong. Mark Wellmaker and then Zong.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
You see, if you don't tell me these things, I'm not gonna ever.
I know. I mean,
Whatever, Jarrett.
Hey, you know, who is she? The professor of the transmission cost.
We're filming.
Like she made.
Simona.
No.
Next thing, starting.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Action!
Good afternoon. We are Team W. I am Garrett DeBoer, along with my teammates Mark, Nin, and Ashley. And so now here's a quick overview of our presentation. So we're going to start out by talking about our overall business strategy. Then we're going to go into our planning, our procurement, our production, our fulfillment, and lastly, we're going to wrap things up talking about our financials. And so our overall business strategy was we are a low-cost niche strategy. And so this meant we had produced only small box items, or cereal, I guess in this case, which meant high margins, as high as they could be, highest in class actually, at the lowest cost, if possible. And so, as I just said, small boxes only. We started that in the first, round 1. And then for our bill of materials, we of course had to decrease our box size, of course, to small. And with that, we also decreased all of our fruit to the lowest quantity possible, and all the other things necessary to have small boxes. And so for our forecast, so this is a chart, a pivot table I made of all of our sales for all the rounds. And so basically, to figure out how much to forecast for, I basically looked at how much we sold last round and how much other people were selling using similar pivot tables and pivot charts, and basically determined what our forecast should be based off that. And this led us to be very successful in this. So now I'm going to pass it on to Nen, who's going to talk about our procurement.
Thank you. Okay, about our procurement strategy, we're following the niche called leadership. So we are aiming at producing high procurement volume through high forecast. Okay, about our receipt date, we're trying not to slowing down our production process. So we usually place an order on the 26th of the previous round so that we can get the goods, the raw materials in on the first and the second day of the next round, so that our production is going on the flow. About the evolvement of the strategy, we started out with high procurement volume, and then after that we decided to lead our strategy to getting more and more market share of other companies and teams, so that we can get higher profits out of the sales. And the outcome, we got a really high margins. We produced a lot of items. Should I start over?
Yeah. Can you cut it out?
Okay.
Hang on, don't start yet. Yeah, you've seen people in a room.
I thought
There's a class in here in 30 minutes.
Okay, well,
30 minutes.
we only have to
Stay
go.
out.
We only need this room for another 2
Yeah, no
minutes.
worries.
So.
Okay. About our procurement strategy, we're following the niche leadership, so we're aiming of ordering high procurement volume. About our receipt date, we're trying to get our production process on the flow, so we usually put an order on 26th or 27th of the previous round so that we can get the raw materials in on the first or the second day of next round so that our production is not delayed. About the involvement of the strategy, we started out thinking just only produce and order high volume of raw materials, and then we decided to change the strategy to gaining more market share of other companies so that we can get more sales from more markets. And the outcome of the strategy, we got a high margin. We buy a lot of raw materials, and we got a huge sales and a big profit out of sales. This is our price quantity indicator for the procurement process. The chart here basically shows your products, your quantity purchased, your price per one product, and then your cumulative price. This helps us a lot on deciding whether we should put a huge amount of forecast and limit our number of orders, or we can just put like a large number of orders and limit our forecast. Using this one together with our current financial situation analysis, we can save a lot of our money just by saving our inventory holding costs and the ordering costs. And now I'm going to pass by to Ashley, who is going to talk about the production process.
Thank you. Our production strategy was to produce as much as possible. We wanted to prevent stocking out and improve our productivity level. Our strategy did not evolve throughout the simulation, and it was successful in that it minimized stockouts. Our lot size was 50,000 units. For our conversion process, our average batch size was 25,393 units. This chart right here shows our setup time, and we did not start investing until our second round, which we invested $500,000 to decrease our setup time to 5.33 hours. We did not invest again until round 6, which we invested $250,000. In round 7, we invested an additional $250,000. The table over here shows our capacity and how much we invested every round. And we ended up with a capacity level of 27,000 units. Next, Mark will be talking about fulfillment.
Thank you, Ashley. So I did fulfillment. It essentially, your fulfillment has it's your demand. It has two aspects, marketing and pricing. We took mostly a pricing strategy here. We did, however, realize that DC-12, we were only in DCs 12 and 14 because we only had small boxes. So DC-12 is slightly less marketing sensitive and more price sensitive than DC-14. So if we did any marketing, it was here in DC-14. We also realized that the prices were going to be a little bit lower in DC-12 than it was in 14. In fact, you can can see an 11-cent difference here in just the average price, grand total. The other thing I did was the financial strategy. We made it a huge priority to pay off debt from the very beginning. So as you'll see here, you have Team W. We were second. This is day 30 in the last round. So at the end, we had the second lowest amount of debt left next to Team Q. This allowed us to keep our interest expense low and contributed to our low-cost strategy. So what we did was we had a kind of a cushion of $1 million in liquidity at all time. At the end of a round, I would use that to invest in capacity and especially bank loan. So whatever I had beyond $1 million, we just put it right back into there, and that really helped. It was successful in keeping our costs low. It helped our margins be extremely high. So in conclusion, we took a low-cost niche strategy here. We only did small boxes because we realized that they were selling in the practice rounds for almost as much as the large boxes, but they cost about half to make. So that raised our margins to, it was around 26, 25, maybe around 20% at worst, right? We also wanted to do large procurement quantities because there are fixed costs associated with those orders. So if we get bigger ones and we have to order less frequently, that'll keep our average cost down. The high production, we just had to do it to keep up with demand so that we wouldn't stock out, and then we really just tried to adhere to this philosophy the whole time: low cost and high margins. Thank you. Cut! That was a lot better than the first one, don't you think?
Yeah, it really was, but